I didn't quite do it right this morning. There, I am right now. Dave Logan Boogie with the Bull Morning Caffeine. You know what? Today's Monday, and it's a day that feels like drinking coffee and having fun. And if you want to join me, that's okay. If you don't want to join me, that's okay too. www.youtube.com/at Dave Globin will bring you to the Believe with the Bull YouTube channel. You can see old Believe with the Bulls. Some will make you laugh, some will make you cry, some will make you laugh and cry because they make me laugh and cry when I watch them too. Anyway, you can go there. It's free. You can subscribe for free. That way you'll know when we're live. And like I said, you can watch the old ones if you want to do that. We're trying to get that to be where everybody goes, but we're live on Facebook today and we're live on YouTube. So we will podcast probably as soon as this ends because I ran late getting it set up this morning, looking around at different things. One of the things I looked around at was the Washington Post reporter who got FBI raided didn't get FBI raided because she did something wrong. She just had information that the FBI needed, and the FBI decided that was the only place to get it. She evidently wrote an article about a Pentagon contractor who has been said to be mishandling information, classified information. And I guess the FBI simply wanted to sit down and look to see if he was in trouble, not she, the reporter. They were not concerned with her. They just wanted to see the information so that they could prove their case. Is that right? Is that wrong? You have to decide for yourself. The rules of the game that the press doesn't have to reveal their sources sort of does have to be respected, but the ability of the FBI to do its job and prove whether or not someone who has a top secret classified clearance is using it the way it was intended to be used. If it's not being used the way it was intended to be used, they need to take it away from them and boot them out. That's just the simple rules of the game. Anyway, it's Monday morning, and as we drink coffee and have fun, a lot of different topics are on the table. So it might be anything comes out of my mouth, or you're welcome to join me this morning on the broadcast to drink coffee and have fun and talk the way you want to talk. Okay, you can have an opinion that differs from mine, and I may yell and scream, but I'm not supposed to. But I may say, "Hey, I don't agree with that," and that's okay. We can talk about why we don't agree on things, but that's one way to get things started this week. One way to get things started this week is to simply go back to doing what I was doing, reading and looking around and seeing what I was going to have ready for the broadcast. I didn't invite anybody this morning because I didn't know whether or not I would whip it all together and do a broadcast. For some strange reason, my eyes were getting in the way, and even with glasses on this morning, they weren't focusing where they should. I couldn't get things typed the way I wanted to get things typed, and that confused my brain. And once my brain was confused, well, that was all said and done. Anyway, if you have something to say this morning, feel free to come and say it. Good morning, Rosemary Andrews. You're always welcome. We will do a broadcast and give her group, Modern Day Slavery, the rest of it. I'm sorry, I didn't write it down this morning so I don't have it with me. Feel free to put it in there. But modern day slavery, uh, dealing with human trafficking issues throughout the United States. It is a fantastic group on Facebook. You learn a lot by being a member of that group, and you learn it from people who have been human trafficked before and got themselves out of it. And, you know, that's how it is. Uh, is it on Facebook? Yes. Should it be on Facebook? Yes. A lot of times you'll hear bad things about the group because they're on Facebook. But then again, for 18 years, you heard bad things about me because I'm on Facebook. And I don't really, I don't really care. We all came here at different times because it was free and we were told you could reach a lot of people. And that's what we wanted to do. So, you know, the answer to that question is if it doesn't work out for you anymore, as I've said oftentimes, don't let it begin. Don't let it be the beginning and the end of your social media experience. Go everywhere. Go to Truth Social and listen to President Trump and anybody else who's there. Go to X and listen to Elon Musk and anybody else who's over there. Go to Rumble, listen to Dan Bongino and everybody else who's over there. Same thing. Go to Wimkin and listen to all of us that are there when we can, and shows that will educate and inform you on what you don't know. Then go to MeWe and do it there. I can keep listing names of places this morning where you could go besides Facebook or besides YouTube or besides anywhere you do go. You know, you have a right to go to the ones that are free, and you have to pay for the ones who aren't, and you have to decide whether or not you want to pay uh, for the ones that aren't free. You know, maybe they think that that's the best way to be. I don't know. I don't care. My brain is kind of scrambled this morning, and I don't know what I'm doing. So we passed along information that I hope you can use. Go to Suzanne Accardo's group, Modern Day Slavery and Human Trafficking, and you will learn a whole lot. That's not the right name of the group, but if you type in Modern Day Slavery when you're looking for a group, you will get redirected to the group with the actual name, and that's where you want to be. You know, we can use social media for good and bad. I even joked with someone this morning that it was time to start a group called The Rest of the Story. And the rest of the story would be the group that would take all of these pages and groups or whatever, people that you see on Facebook that say, click on this for the rest of the story. Well, the reason that you click on this to find the rest of the story realistically is because you get redirected to their website with their advertising, and they want to make you pay to get the answer. I don't want to make you pay to get the answer. You know, we don't have advertisers on Boogie with the Bull programs, probably because we don't have advertisers on Boogie with the Bull programs. But the realistic view is that I don't have them because I don't want them, because they tend to feel at some point that they have a say in what goes on the broadcast. And if you're someone who does want to advertise and you don't care what goes on the broadcast, well, then we're the perfect broadcast for you to be on. So, and there is a point, I think, that people that do this need to have advertising because they need to make money, and they need to make money to be able to continue doing what they do. I do it for free. Well, I actually don't do it for free because we pay the electric bill in the house, which means my computer is on and able to rock and roll. And I pay $19 a month for Restream, and that allows me to rock and roll, and it allows me to send me anywhere I want to be or anywhere that I can be, and see how that goes. So, you know, I I can't do it 100% for free. If I want to, I figured out how to do it that way, but they'll probably snuff me for doing that. Meaning, they'll block the broadcast or redirect you somewhere else, or you know whatever. I don't really want to deal with it. I like doing the broadcasts. That's why I do it. You know, sometimes I have something to say, and sometimes if you listen long enough, you figure out what I was trying to say. Uh, you know, we are confronted with information that may be true, may be relevant, but it's not the information that you were looking for. If you think Renee Nicole Good was in the wrong place at the wrong time and that led to her getting shot, then you know, then that's what you believe. If you believe that she was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got shot and that wasn't right, well, then that's how you feel. But put yourself in that same situation. If you went to protest ICE being there, would you have driven up and got yourself involved in the operation to the point that it led to you getting shot? Could you have stood on the sidelines with everybody else and protested that day and done everything else that they did? And when it was done, they got to go home. Or you aimed a camera in your face and presented the same information. My question is, what do you want done to take care of problems? There seems to be a problem in Minnesota, and I don't care that it was caused by or allegedly caused by Somalis that live in America. I really don't. The problem that anybody got their hands on $9 billion and did whatever they wanted to do with $9 billion that was meant to help people that had issues. Minnesota food stamps got cut. Minnesota drug help got cut. Everything, got cut. Even people that needed daycare. They didn't use those locations, and anyway, those locations got closed because they weren't following the rules that they were supposed to be following anyway. So I just wake up every morning and go, why do we keep hearing the same information but not do anything about it? You have to look and say that, Bill and Hillary Clinton have a right not to go to Congress and speak as they were subpoenaed, and the House Oversight Committee has a right to say, okay, you don't want to come and talk to us, then we have a right to turn it over to the Justice Department and let them decide what they want to do with it. It shouldn't become we're all going to argue about it both ways, both sides, until we're blue in the face and can't do it anymore. Because if it was you or I who did what they allege the Clintons of doing, we would already have been referred to the Justice Department. We already would have been arrested, and we would have already been, most likely, in jail. I'm not going to go any further than there. I don't want them executed. So if you want them executed, that's your own personal view. But, I don't want anybody executed. I want them to tell me why they did what they did, and that's it. Then if they earn jail time, then maybe they earn jail time. I personally don't believe that jail time in most cases does any good. Why? Because you give them clothes to wear, you give them 3 meals a day, you give them a bed to sleep on, you give them free TV. How is that a penalty? They don't learn that they need to live a different way. And the people that came into the country that do bad things shouldn't be here. I mean, it's that simple. It's not me being against a Somali or anyone else that is here. It's just if you do bad things in this country, then you shouldn't be here. Should you pay your debt in prison in this country and then be sent home? I don't know. Because if we could send you home and say that we're going to put this person in jail for life, you make a decision and you decide, but that person's not allowed to be here, doesn't mean squat because they come back. Whether or not Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are responsible for 25 million illegal people coming to this country, I really don't care anymore. We have 25 million people in this country that need to be re-educated to, we don't do it the way you do it. So you just want to leave. Like I said, I don't want to execute you. I don't think I need to execute you. I don't want to put you in jail because I don't think I need to put you in jail. Just want to understand why you do what you do. And if you came here to do it, then you should leave and go do it somewhere else. And some of the things you shouldn't even do someplace else. Because when you put people in that, to think in that same situation, what would you do? You find people that go, you know what, you're right. Or you find people that say, I don't know, I don't care. We grew up believing this is the country of opportunity and that everybody here deserves a shot at living the way they want to. You can start a business, or you can go to work for someone else, or you can go to school for a while, learn a bunch of stuff, and just be happy doing that. But, if you need help, we give you food help. Do we give you enough? No. In some cases. In most cases, we give you too much. So you should get what you deserve, or you shouldn't get it. If you have to come here from another country so that you get it in this country, and then you turn around and send it to the country you came from, what the hell is the point? Go home and create the program over there if you can. You're not always free in other countries to do what you want to do, and that leads to, unfortunately, war in those countries, and somebody else takes over. It's time to just say, hey, why can't we just sit, break bread together, agree on what we agree on, and disagree on what we are going to disagree on, and work on the things we disagree on, so that everybody can coexist and live together. Because I don't want to be the last two people on that battlefield. I don't want to look at the Russian. I don't want to look at the Chinese person and go, do I really want to kill you? And have them say to me, do you really want to kill me? Because no, I don't. I don't. I just want to figure out what the issue is and see if we can come to a solution that works for both of us. And it's not the United States giving you a bunch of money, because it doesn't seem to work. That's why we stopped in some cases. And I'm sure when we stopped, people are up in arms trying to figure out how they're going to coexist. Well, we coexisted here and gave you that bunch of money, so why can't you coexist where you are and give yourselves a bunch of money? Some things, yeah, we have to pay them. You got to pay property tax as far as having police and fire, EMS, and all of that. We need it because we need it. But is it really police and fire, EMS that we need, and not just a means of the government making money? I always say if you don't have children in your house or people in your house that use schools in your city, town, or whatever, you should not have to pay anymore. You did your job. You paid taxes all those years for all while your kids were in school, and now that you don't use it, that money should be redirected somewhere else. You pay money, excise tax, to improve roads, take care of roads in your city or town, and some of them, they don't take care of it. So why should you pay taxes for it? It means that you're going to drive around on roads that aren't paved, and you're most likely going to drive yourself into a pothole if you do that. But I'm 64 years old and I have Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's, and I'm most likely going to drive myself into a pothole anyway if I drive. But, this thing about in Wisconsin, I guess, that gas station owners were given the right to raise gas taxes anytime they want to raise gas taxes. Well, that should tell you that you in Wisconsin, if this is true, don't want to buy gas from those people because they can raise the price. They can raise the gas tax anytime they want. The gas tax, some of it goes to them, but a lot of it goes to the oil companies that sold them the gas. It's not going to bring down their cost of gas. It's not going to bring down your cost of gas if they can raise the taxes on it anytime they want. To me, it's just stupidity. If you've got a bunch of refineries in your state that you closed down because you were hoping that everybody would buy electric cars, or you mandated that everybody in your state would buy electric cars by whatever date you did, they closed like the refineries closed like they were supposed to because they weren't selling enough anyway. Now, the gas prices seem to be going down. There's more of a demand for it. So there should be more of it made in your state, or you're going to pay to have it transported to your state, which is good and bad. We have accidents, and you have East Palestine, where they decided they were going to burn it, thinking that was the right way to do. And it might have been. It might have been safer to burn it than transport it to where it needed to be, or try to collect up whatever you could and then have the EPA go in and clean up whatever they had to do. Because certainly burning it and putting it in the air wasn't any better than removing it, which would have probably leaked and hurt everybody else for a billion years. So everybody has to think, and they have to think what is best for this situation. And it's just what is best for that situation. because another time the same things may come and happen, but it may be a completely set of different circumstances and why you have to do it differently. We say the children are our future, yet we do things that allow children not to become the future. We're here to educate them. We're here to teach them. Not here to beat the hell out of them. Some people, go overboard in this. I have to spank my kid to get them to do what they do. I'm 64 years old. My parents never spanked. No, I don't remember being spanked. I remember being slapped a few times, but not to hurt me. At the time, that's how parents thought they got their kids to understand you don't do something. Well, I've never done that. My 3 sons are old enough and big enough that I don't want to do that anyway. They'd probably turn around and slap me. I never raised a hand on one who was, quote unquote, my child, not by birth. You don't have to be someone's child by birth to be their child. I never hit her. Never actually even yelled at her. She would do something and her mom would just go crazy, yelling and screaming and whatever. She didn't hit her either, but she'd yell and scream, and the daughter would come and sit in my lap and go, "Isn't that so funny?" I mean, she was like 5 years old. "Isn't that so funny?" And I'd sit there and go, "Yeah." Because if I explain to you and you talk to me and I understand, then it doesn't happen anymore. If I'm doing something wrong, if you're doing something wrong, it doesn't happen anymore. But I understand that doesn't work for everybody. She came and jumped on my bed one day, and then came and jumped on my bed again. I think probably did it 3 or 4 more times because she was happy to see me because I had been out working for 36 hours straight. And when I snapped, unfortunately, and I drop kicked her. Not hard. I just drop kicked her. She hid in the closet for the day, and she told her mom that I was mad at her. So when I went to the closet and said, "I'm not mad. I was just doing something that I wanted to do, and you interrupted. And I needed to sleep." There was no excuse for what I did. Even if it wasn't hard, regardless. There was just no reason for it. But, hot sauce on your kid's tongue because they say something bad or that you don't like, wrong. So open your mouth. I'll go that far and say, you know what? That's sort of a rite of passage. That you got that because you deserved it. And I can still to this day remember I wouldn't open my mouth because I knew what my mom was going to put in my mouth. And I guess I finally did because she stomped on my foot and it hurt so bad I yelled, "Ow," and boom, the bar soap went in my mouth. But was I wrong for speaking a certain way to her? Probably. Not probably. I was most definitely, I was wrong. And, that's how they thought back then that they deal with you. But We all did stuff as kids growing up that we knew we were most likely going to get spanked for. You know, there were other ways to do it, and grounding you in your bedroom didn't work for me and my brother because we just, we knew we had to spend time in our room and we knew we couldn't do something. So I just didn't do it. I went and did something else. My brother, unfortunately, went and bought whatever he couldn't do and then figured that you couldn't tell him he couldn't do it because it was his. So, did that work? Well, in my head, no, because he had to go out and spend money to prove that he could do what he wanted to do. So I don't know what the answer is, but I do know, and I'm included in this, that we spend too much time sitting in front of this box anyway, that we've lost the skill of talking to one another. And it's interesting and it's fun when I do get the chance. Not everybody wants to talk about politics. That's okay. 2 rules in my life. My grandmother said, no politics at the table unless someone else brings it up first, then it's fair game. And grandfather's rule was everyone's entitled to their own opinion, even if it's wrong. And of course, you have to tell someone that it's wrong. But I read all over Facebook and other places on the internet, oh, I'm not going to talk to these relatives anymore because they like Donald Trump. Talk to them about something else than Donald Trump then. And tell them that you don't want to talk to them. I went through it with one of my sisters. I probably wasn't very kind about it, but it amounted to, if you're not going to listen to another side, then don't bring it up to me. Because if you bring it up to me, I feel obligated to bring it back to you. So we didn't talk for a while. Did I still love her? Absolutely. Absolutely. Did I still wish I could talk to her? Absolutely. And now, we send a message to each other every once in a while because we don't call each other because of the cost of, well, then it was the cost of call. And now, just about every call you make on your phone is the same cost in the United States. But anyway, that's not the important thing. We all decide that our phones or our messaging each other is an easier and cheaper way to go. So that's what we do. But all 3 of my sisters and my brother know that they can talk to me whenever they want. My brother said happy birthday in a text the other day, and that he forgot, and that's why he was late. And I said back to him, hey, you're allowed to forget, but I'll probably forget yours. Now, I won't, but I might. And I don't need to do that. My dad talked to everybody. And that's where I sort of learned it from, because you can form your own opinion and carry it around in your own head because there's no one else to talk to. If that's what you want to do, that's great. But like I said, if people understand that, they don't like the orange man and they don't like the president of the United States, that's great. The only thing I ask is that you respect him as the president of the United States because he got elected by a majority of the people who voted for him. And why we're still battling over what happened in 2020, I don't know. Because they're not, even if the consensus is we owe him 4 more years, they're not going to give him 4 more years. because the Supreme Court is going to say, well, you know what? We don't have a rule that says that. We shouldn't have to have a rule in the Constitution that says what you do. And now, Fulton County, Georgia, they'll give us the information. They just don't want to pay for the people to give us the information. I mean, people working. It's their effing job. And if it's not their effing job, then try to make me understand how else we get the information. And why we have information that says in Fulton County, in Georgia, he wasn't elected the president, when the information actually shows, yes, he was elected the president by the majority of the people that voted in Fulton County, and maybe in other places too. Show the information that you have once and for all, and you don't have a right to charge me, a taxpayer, to see the information that proves that you're wrong. You go to court to prove yourself right. And how you prove yourself right is you sit there and you shut up and you listen to why they think you're wrong. And you speak evidence and whatever that shows that you were right. And if the judge isn't ruling from this side or that side, and is ruling based on the evidence, you're either right or you're wrong. It's that simple. Now, I read today Pierce Morgan is leaving the United States and going back to the United Kingdom because he thinks we should sell the United States to the United Kingdom again, or we should be repurchased by the United Kingdom. My reply is, why? Because the United Kingdom can't even run their own country, and they're gonna buy us and run us. And who are they going to buy it from? Are they going to buy it from all of us taxpayers? Because we own it. We paid the taxes to run it. And what if we don't want to sell? Then go. Leave. And do what you want to do someplace else. Or stay here and understand that there's a bunch of people that don't, there's a majority that don't agree. You know, I'm tired of seeing all these people who at one time were big actors or actresses or recording people, concert people that say, I'm canceling all my shows in the United States because I don't want your money. Bull crap. Simple bull crap. You went into business to make money. You didn't go into business to give it away for free, or else you would be giving it away for free. I didn't buy a ticket to your concert to listen to your politics because I'm not allowed to speak my politics back to you. You have a right to do whatever you want to do in your concert, but if I came to listen to you play music that night, and so did everybody else, then that's why we're there. We didn't come to listen to your politics. We came to listen to your music. Maybe your music is political, but we came to listen to your music. We didn't come to hear your politics. Dennis DeYoung said it best in a video of a concert before he did The Grand Illusion. He said, when you see Dennis DeYoung and the music of Styx, and you come to Dennis DeYoung and the music of Styx, you came to escape what's going on out there. And that, that's That's what it is. We came to escape what's going on out there. We used to be able to do it by going to an NFL game, but they became political. Or the team owners became political. And, I don't want to spend $300 to go to the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and listen to his politics. A, because I don't know if the team even agrees with it. But you have to listen to their politics. And I'm only using examples, but you have to listen to their politics. I came because I wanted to enjoy a good musical show with people that might become my friends and just enjoy the music. Because it's not going to be there forever. Why? Because you're not going to be there forever. And when you're not there any longer, you may stop playing your music. Or maybe we'll ask you what you think on different things. But you know what? We paid money to go see you do something. So when you tell me that you don't want my money anymore, well, then that's fine. You don't need my money anymore. You don't need my money anymore. Just like when you don't want to listen to me, you don't come to the broadcast. If you do, you do. If I entertained and informed you, I did my job. Anyway, where are we? My eyes are a little, not quite this morning, so I have to move my face close to read a box that I normally can't read. 43 minutes. So we're 43 minutes into the program, 17 minutes left if we want to be an hour. If you got an idea for a Boogie with the Bull, regardless of when it is, normally I'm on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. or a little bit later here and there. It happens if you have to leave, you have to leave. But generally Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we reserve the right for selected Saturdays at 10 a.m. and we reserve the right Eastern, and we reserve the right for Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. because those are the best times to reach people in the evening. I don't know why, but everybody tells me that's the best time. So 7 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, selected, of course, and selected Saturdays at 10 a.m. and Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I hope you're here. Like I started to say, if you have an idea for a broadcast, tell me. Come on and do it with me. Okay? That's all I ask. I didn't do this or start doing this because I want to be a big shot. I want to be rich and famous like the other boys and girls. I'm already rich in ways that don't involve the amount of money that I may have in my checking account from one day to the other. My family loves me and I love them. They accept me for being me and I accept them for being them. I'm always willing to talk to them if they decide to talk to me, but most of them don't because I hate like Donald Trump. Or they're watching a TV show and I say something stupid that gives away the plot and they haven't gotten anywhere near the plot. So I try not to talk anything that they're watching on TV or a movie that I might have saw that they're gonna go see. And if I knew, it's like, well, maybe you'll get the message, and if you get the message, you'll think one way or the other, And it's okay to think that way, that you end up thinking, you know. But there's other things to talk about. The TV shows and movies that people watch. Because I guess it's political if you watch them. And, there's a whole lot more important stuff than politics, you know, because if I try to say, well, this is how I feel about it, and people get mad at me. Or some people get mad at me. Well, you can get mad at me either way. You can get mad at me if I like it. You can get mad at me if I don't. But I have to be me, and you have to be you. So if you don't like what I do when I'm doing it, come here and tell me you don't like what I did. The only rule I ask is that everybody is respectable to everybody else. Keep the yelling and screaming down to almost non-existent. Use your mouth to say how you feel and how you think other people should feel. And have a good time, drink coffee, and have fun. Because there is so much else in the world to talk about. Like, if you could drink the coffee black because it tasted the way you wanted it to taste, then why do you buy black coffee and contaminate it to taste the way you want it to taste? And maybe buying it pre-contaminated the way you want it to taste is great. And maybe it's not. I'm drinking Maxwell House Original Roast with Coffee Mate and I believe some sugar to make it be okay that I'm not drinking it today with chocolate caramel creamer in it that doesn't need any sugar. But, like I said, if I could drink it black without the stuff that I put in it, then I'd drink it black, I guess. And I probably could if I drank it every day black. I'd either realize I don't like it and I'd stop drinking it and I'd drink something else, or I like it and I can drink it that way. It never was about being cool like the adults in the room and drinking coffee because adults drink coffee and that was what I wanted to do. It just became part of my life. And I guess it was the thing that calmed me down and kept me from yelling and screaming. And I was so bad that I would buy a cup in the morning. Actually, yeah, I'd buy a mocha frappe or a cup of coffee, whatever it was, at McDonald's in Putnam, Connecticut, and drive about 50 miles. And on the way, I would stop on the Route 30 Turnpike exit and hit the McDonald's on the Turnpike in the rest area right there and buy another one. And then I would drive to the McDonald's on Main Street in Waltham and buy another one. And then depending on how long I was going to be in Waltham and what I had to do while I was up there, I'd go and buy another one if I had time. And then I'd do my work, and then I'd go buy another one and drive myself back to Waltham, and then I would go buy another one and drive myself home to Putnam. So, I guess it's better than worst things I could do to myself. I was never a smoker. I had a bad asthma attack the first time. I tried it with a bunch of my friends, and I just didn't want to have another one, so I never took up smoking. And drugs, yeah, I eat, and breathed, and smoked, and I mean, whatever. Lived, eat, and breathed cocaine for 2 years. And then at the end of the 2 years, a friend of mine committed suicide, and his note said that he was too afraid to ask for help. And I wish he was still alive because that opened my eyes to it. And I felt the same way, I guess. And because he's gone, I can't ask him. I can't get his help. So, I tell people, you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. For me, the radio show always was my cocaine, my addiction to something. You know, as I've said before, I could walk into the studio feeling bad and not wanting to do the show, and I could sit down and do the show and have fun. And drink a lot of Mountain Dew back then because that's what I did. And I enjoyed every minute of what I did. And then when it was time to go home, well, boom, real life, reality kicked in. And, I guess I needed something to teach me that I didn't need reality. But anyway, we are coming up on 1 hour very slowly this morning. And we're in I think it's 53 minutes, it looks like, so we've just about done it. If you got something out of the broadcast today, I hope it was good. If you just sat here and drank coffee and had fun, well, then you got something out of the broadcast. If you sat here and drank coffee and had fun and didn't get anything out of the broadcast, well, I guess that you weren't meant to get anything out of the broadcast. I'm Dave Glovin, and I like what I do. Sometimes I do it in an easy way to understand, and sometimes my brain, my mouth have troubles getting out what I need to get out. You need to do more than sit in your chair, and I need to do more, than sit in the chair for all these hours every day and then go to sleep and get up and do it again. Wow. Donna tries to watch TV, and you just need to spend a little less time on the box. However you can do it. Just walk away from the box every once in a while and talk to people. Take the headphones off and watching videos that you like to make you feel good. Go talk to people. Find out what they're doing. And if they have an interest, maybe you have an interest. People in my family love to build puzzles. I'm not the best puzzle builder at all because I just don't have the attention to want to do it. I also don't have the skill. My hands don't always move right. But maybe that would be the best thing to do. As if they sat me down and we worked together on a puzzle. Or we played that game Farkle. Farkle. Where you try to get basically everything Yahtzee. And the first person to get so many points, I think it's 1,000 points, wins. Or I don't know, it's more than 1,000 points, I think. But the first person to reach that wins. and everybody else doesn't win. Or you can play on and see who the second person is, third person is, fourth person is, fifth person. But my point was that it really doesn't matter what I spin. I tell people it really doesn't matter what I spin. It's the fact that I was with my family, away from my computer, and I had a good time. Maybe, I like word searches, so maybe I need to write some word searches and sit with everybody and see who completes the word search first. And then see if they feel the same way I do about the words that I put in. I used to think it was about who had the most groups on Facebook, and now it's not. Now it's put together all these groups when they fit together into one group, and then that may be all you need. Or not having the groups and just writing what you need. I have an open profile. Anybody on Facebook, Threads, Instagram can read it. But I don't go to Instagram very often. I don't go to Threads very often because when I do, I write from the conservative Republican point of view and I get reported. I get in trouble. I can't go there anymore because I share the conservative Republican response to what I read. I have an admin. She gets in trouble simply for welcoming you to a group and sending a meme or a graphic that shows she's happy you're a member of the group. And every time she does it, she gets restricted on Facebook. I can't understand that. Why do you get restricted by Facebook for doing something you're supposed to do? You should get restricted by Facebook if you have a group, you're an admin, and you don't welcome everybody there. I mean, come on. It's that simple. If you don't welcome the people in your groups and you don't talk to the people in your groups, then you're just putting together a news feed, a newspaper, whatever you want to call it. I should be selling about 427 of them because they all have a different view. We all started them for a different reason. I don't want to be paid. I just want people to read it. And if it's not the way it should be, then I want people to tell me it shouldn't be that way. It should be a different way. Or at least welcome a different view. Great, come on in. Be a part of it. That's what they're for. It's easier to do it as a broadcast because you just come on and offend everybody at once, as my meme says. And I'm sorry if I didn't offend you today on today's broadcast. I'm sure I will offend you at some point. That's why I have that meme there. It's kind of funny. To me, it's kind of funny. Other broadcasts I get to be on, we just like to stump the host of the broadcast sometimes and make him laugh because it's fun. Or stump and make another person laugh because life, if you can't laugh, then you can't have fun. You can drink coffee and have fun drinking coffee, but, if you don't laugh at yourself and at everybody else, then you're just a drone reading the machine. Anyway, I'm going to go for today because it's going to be 11:11 soon, and I have something I have to do at 11:11. I make a wish to my grandson, 13-year-old grandson, the oldest grandson, as I call him, because he is. And I write him every day. Quick sentence, good morning. I hope you're having a great day. I love you. I'm always here if you need me, kind of stuff, you know. And then some days he writes me back. Some days he writes me back when he reads it. But I'm the same way. Some days I write people right away, and some days it's 2 or 3 days, if not longer, before I write you because I went somewhere and I turned the volume down on my phone and I forgot to turn it up or I turned it down because I didn't want to keep Donna awake every time my phone goes off or my tablet goes off. I try to make sure I turn the volume down. I should just shut the tablet off. The phone I got to keep on because there's people I want to know if there's problems with in their lives throughout the day. I want to be available for family. Not that I can do anything. I mean, I can't jump in the car and drive to them. But maybe, just maybe, the right words out of my mouth on their screen are the right words, and sometimes the right words from them are the right words on my screen. But there is more to life than putting words on the screen. That's all I want to say. It is true. It's addicting, and you do it because you get addicted to it. I have. I've been here for 16, 17, 18 years, and I still do it. And I tell you to go to other places and do it, and I'm still here. So Monday morning at 10 a.m. is a hard time to reach people. That's okay. So watch it when you can, where you can. It'll be up in our 10 groups, which unfortunately, because I'm an old man with dementia, I can't always remember all 10 groups, and I don't write it down so that I do remember all 10 groups, but it'll be in our 10 groups this morning. I think it's actually 8 groups right now because we closed 1 or 2. So it's 8 groups that you're more than welcome to watch it. You can go to my profile. You're more than welcome to watch. You can go to the YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@DaveGlovin. We will invite people every chance we get. That's just the way it is. So if you see that and it bothers you, tell me to stop and I won't do it to you. I will do it to everybody else. Because it became a gag that was sort of inviting everybody that you knew wouldn't ever come to a Boogie with the Bull broadcast. But then, just once, maybe they would. And we'd have fun and drink coffee, or drink coffee and have fun. Because there is so much more to talk about than just politics that divides people. But then again, there's politics that divides people. We can talk about that if you want to talk about that too. So I'm going to keep inviting people, and maybe, just maybe, they'll come. Because that really is what it's all about. In my head, it's like, okay, Dan Bongino read my invitation and came to the broadcast. What do I do now? Rosie O'Donnell read my invitation. What do I do now? If I didn't care what they would do, I'd stop inviting them because I know that they may or may not come. Rosie, it's much earlier in the morning if she is in Ireland now. To have her on from 10 to 11, it's much earlier in Ireland than it is in the morning, and I can't do it at 4 a.m. Ireland time because it's probably much earlier here or much later here, and I'm not awake to do it. And sometimes, maybe, just maybe, we'll find things to agree on, find things to talk about. Things that everybody just talks about. Oh, it's 11:11, so I'm gonna hit this one, and turn off that alarm. And I'm going to hit that one and turn off that alarm. And I'm going to hit this one and turn off this alarm. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we are here. Selected Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, we might be there. And selected Tuesdays and Thursdays, we might be there. And if we're not there, it's a very good opportunity that we're not there because we're getting ready to be there on the American Rebellion. They're there. I just tell people on the American Rebellion blogger page on Facebook because that's the only one that I can usually remember. Some days they are on X, some days they're on Rumble, some days they're on Winkin, some days they're everywhere else, but I can only usually remember the American Rebellion blogger page. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. There's Chuck Cook and me and Jen Woodruff and anybody else that shows up, and Jerry Michaels hosts it and tries to keep us all in order, I guess, and we try to make him laugh, or everybody laugh, and have a good time and drink coffee or whatever you want to drink that way. So tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, look for the American Rebellion. And you'll have fun. Maybe you'll have fun and be there often. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. I think on Tuesdays, it's Straight Talk with Jen, and we play trivia. So I try to be there because I like to play. But yeah, sometimes I have to be a guest so I can blurt out an answer first rather than wait for delays and this and that, or me to type it right and then send it. But I don't care. I have a good time anyway. And sometimes I answer wrong just for the sport of answering wrong. But she's a smart lady and always brings good, interesting questions. So there's another reason to watch Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Straight Talk with Jen on the American Rebellion. So be there. And if I don't know where you are when you do it, then make sure I do know it so I can tell everybody else to watch. And if you're on at the same time when I'm on, then tell me. I'll still promote it. I don't care. And I'll still encourage people to go over there and watch you too at the same time. Or maybe I'll take the time off. Everybody. We all just need to work together. And hopefully we do. And if we don't, then we just understand why everybody can't. And everybody can't. But I don't know. Anyway, it's after 11:11, like I said, so it's time for me to let you go and drink coffee and have fun and play on my computer until it's time to leave my house, because we did have errands to go run today. Because we have errands to go run today. So we'll go have fun. And I'll bring my coffee along if there's any left, and drink my coffee and have fun walking around wherever we're going to be today. And you'll have fun if you bump into me, and I'll have fun if I bump into you. Just don't keep it political if you run into me today when we're out, because there's more to life. I'm going to put my glasses because there's a big spot right here that either I chipped my glasses or I did something wrong. But anyway, go off and make it a good day. Have fun. Play on the box if you want to play on the box, but every once in a while take time away from the box. I know I need to take time away from the box every once in a while, because when I get up from the box, my legs bother me sometimes. So I should be doing some home exercises so that my legs don't bother me. And if you sit in front of the box and your legs don't bother you for after long hours of sitting in front of the box, come on the broadcast and tell me why. Because I want to learn how to sit so that my legs won't bother me. Because this will sound bad, it only gets worse in the sense that sometimes what you have is going to get worse, and sometimes what you have doesn't get any worse. It just takes a slow trajectory, that fancy word, trajectory, in that direction. Sometimes it does get worse much quicker. So let's all just meet at the times I gave you above and have fun and drink coffee, or drink coffee and have fun. Actually, I want people to tell me what order should it be. Should we have fun and drink coffee, or should we drink coffee and have fun? Stupid questions that just I want to know. And anywhere else we can be besides YouTube and Facebook, let me know, and I'll try to make sure that we can be there. Sometimes we're on X, sometimes we're on Streetlock, sometimes we are on Wimkin, sometimes we are on anywhere we can be. Not because of any reason that keeps us from being there all the time. It's just you have to set it all up in advance, and I forget to do that. So today we will podcast to all of those places. We will just post it on my page on X, Wimkin, and anywhere else that we can. We're having trouble doing it with Rumble because I'm 67 years old and I forgot and I didn't write it down. But it seems that you have to know how to write something on Rumble so everybody on Rumble can see it. We're set up there to be on Rumble, to be a locals creator and be there, but it's RTMP technology, and I just have to learn how to do that, or accept the fact that I have to go everywhere and post the website, or excuse me, the web link, www.youtube.com/@DaveGloven, www.youtube.com/@shift2 Dave Globe. That brings you to the Boogie with the Bull page, and if you like it, you can subscribe to it. And if you don't, you can subscribe to it anyway, and you get all the old Boogie with the Bulls, and you get the new ones when we're live. And on that note, I'm going to end because I think I've said everything about 4,227 times today. So we'll be back Wednesday, and we'll say it 2,110 times because we already said it today. Anyway, have fun, drink coffee, or drink coffee and have fun. Anyway.